All right, get ready for the first mucus-free mukbang ever. Before me, we have some cubed pineapple. And you eat it like this. So I guess in these mukbang videos, we're supposed to talk. What you want to talk about? Let's talk about how pus and mucus totally transforms the behavior of people. And this is I'm still one of the only people I know that really talk about this. Everybody should be talking about this. People always ask the question, why did somebody do something? Why did so-and-so rape and murder and kill? Why did Christopher Columbus rape and pillage and murder hundreds of thousands? Why did they do all these things? It's the terrible people, all the way to just seemingly not that big a deal stuff. What's at the foundation of that? Pus and mucus poisoning. Now you ask, well, why doesn't everybody, if everybody eats like this, I eat like this, and I don't murder people. You know, drugs react differently in different people. But you have no clue, if you haven't transitioned away from the pus and the mucus forming foods, you have absolutely no clue how different you can and will feel. It's a total transformation, and people say that all the time, all the self-help gurus, a lot of the people even on the diet networks, you know, they constantly talk about transformation, but they're not giving you something, they're not providing you with a system that can really do that can really transform not only your body, not only lose a few pounds, not only get over decades-long ailments like I did, but fundamentally transform and rewire the way you think about reality. And with this transformation and this change, we're talking about more enlightened people. See, enlightenment, that should be the sexiest, most sought after, coolest thing. That should be the coolest thing. Well, all the cool kids, like, what you into? Like, you know, because when I was growing up with the cool kids, man, you know, we smoking weed and going like, hey, and hollering at, you know, hey, what's up? Hey, come on, hey, let's go drink, let's go there. That was what the cool kids were into. What the cool kids should be into is enlightenment. Getting, I hate using the word woke because that got so co-opted. That's woke. But in the original sense of the concept, that's what it's about. Wake up. Evolve one's consciousness. Because to me, these things out here are not going to change until you start to have large groups of people transform not only their physiology, but with their physiology automatically transforms consciousness. And it is a path to self-realization that is to this point esoteric. People don't understand how deep that this thing really goes. And we can't even talk about that stuff on YouTube. We get taken down and people think we're insane if we start really uncovering some of the deep hidden secrets of this stuff. Because it gets really deep. So behavior, if you want to improve the behavior, you want less. Brother Air just told me yesterday there was someone tried to kill their baby mama and like 9-month-old baby, threw them in the river And then her dead body, the girl was like, I don't know, probably, I'm guessing like 20 years old maybe or less. Her body was found on a bridge, Purple People Bridge in Cincinnati, Ohio. Take pus and mucus out of the equation. Take pus and mucus out of the equation and let me know if that same murder rate is out there, if the same abuse, if the same police brutality, if the same government corruption. Tell me if that don't transform at all. Take pus and mucus out of the equation, and the transition is on. As I record this right now, in Miami, Florida. And this is the first time I've been in a place that had this much consciousness about veganism, just veganism. Now, you know us, we want to take things a step further because we're talking about mucuslessness, transforming one's physiology, taking things to the next level. But part of the transition is gonna, in terms of the masses, is gonna be becoming plant-based, becoming vegan, whatever terminology wins out. You know, different people latch on to different concepts, and there's nuances in each, but we won't get into that. That's boring. But that's the trend. I'm seeing it. Like, we talked about this years and years ago. Brother Air, that we used to do a radio show, Immortality Pipeline, on a local FM station, WAIF FM. And that was the kind of stuff we used to talk about, because we would say and predict. Now my predictions are usually very accurate in terms of what happens, but the timeline is a little harder for me to, I'm getting better at it actually, but the timeline is usually skewed. So I said it'd probably be about 20 to 30 years, and we're gonna start to see veganism become really normal. And honestly, my timeline might not be that bad, because it's getting normal. Like here, like I said, here, and there was a vegan in the hood, and what people, you know, more lower income neighborhood, people don't understand what that word means. The hood. I was driving through the hood. There was a marquee for a vegan restaurant in the hood. You know, and I'm up north. We have maybe one or two vegan restaurants, you know, in Columbus, Cincinnati, you got like one, you know, like a lot of cities don't have any yet. So we're still on the transition, but places like Miami, and I know LA and San Diego, and a lot of places in Oregon, and there's places in New York, and I know that that's happening, you know, where there's, you know, raw food places and vegan places, that kind of stuff. But that's part of this transition that we've been talking about for years, that in order for this consciousness and awake process that we've been talking about to happen, there's going to have to be a transformation and a transition, because can't happen overnight, or there will be mass chaos, a lot of sick people, a lot of death, honestly. And so it's got to be a transition. It just has to be a good transition, and that's what's happening. But we can do our part to make that transition really flourish, as long as we do what we're supposed to be doing in terms of our transition, trying to take ourselves to the next level, because this path is not always easy. And so we try to have the support group, we try to do, you know, all that, because that was something that was missing, was a support group. I have some things that I'll be announcing in the coming months to try to take things even to the next level in terms of educating people, helping them really be able to share this information effectively with friends and family. And so that's really important to me. So are we mukbanging yet? Does this meet with your approval? Is this mukbang? I'm eating on camera, which is something I usually don't really ever do, or I don't. But hey, it's mukbang. All right. Pineapple-y. That's a reference to Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, circa 1989. Mukbang. And by the way, this is what a mucus-free meal looks like. People often want to know about mucus-free. What are you eating? And it's not. I don't know what to tell them because it's not exciting. They're expecting some. Oh, you're on this diet. What you eating? I had a plate of pineapple. What else? That was it. But what about, insert misconception. What about protein? What about, don't you get hungry? It's like, no. But, I transitioned to it. I didn't just start eating, mucusless diet menu recommendation layout overnight. Some people promote the massive chewing to Fletcherize, if you will. And I have to admit, I'm guilty of not being the most chew-heavy person. I tend to not enjoy chewing the same thing for 5 minutes. It's not really my bag. The main thing is, you always judge things on elimination. If you get in the habit of judging food based on elimination, does it eliminate well? That's the question. Does it eliminate well? What do I mean by that? When I say it eliminates well, it does not cause indigestion. It doesn't make me belch. It comes out nice with very little residue in a bowel movement. That's how something eliminates well. You could also say digests well, but when people think of digestion, they usually just think of that first process. So when I'm saying elimination includes digestion as well as excretion process, the elimination, the whole thing. Does it eliminate well? If I was eating, if this was, I don't know, if this was a bag of corn chips and I just ate it, that would not eliminate well. And now if you really want to talk about extreme not eliminating well, if I was eating corn chips with this fruit, you want to talk about a no-no. Some of the most important principles in the Mucusless Diet Healing System book revolve around food combinations. And you got to be combining food properly. Just because when you don't, things don't eliminate well. Now, as you get cleaner and cleaner, that gets so much more important. That gets really, really important. The cleaner you get, you really need to be able to combine things properly. So this is a properly combined mukbang meal, mucus-free mukbang meal, because we have a serving of pineapple. Yeah. Mukbang, mukbang, ooh. So I know what you're wondering. How many times is he going to say the word mukbang? I don't know. It's a funny word, mukbang. So now I'm starting to get a little full. And that's another thing that you want to listen to your body, and it's just because the food's on the plate. And I know this goes against what a lot of us grew up with. At least me, if the food's on the plate, because there's starving children in insert stereotypically impoverished country, because there's starving people in, I'm not going to say one, you put your own version of whatever your family said, starving people in country, you are obligated to eat every bite that's on that plate. Every bite. You got to get out of that mentality, because if you're done, you're done. And don't just stuff yourself for the sake of stuffing yourself. When you're thinking in terms of fruit, yes, it's the resource is not as it should be. It's not as plentiful. It's not as easy to get, depending on what part of the world you live in. But you got to think of other ways to do it. I could take this, I could freeze it, and put it in some kind of bag or whatever. I could freeze it, put it in a smoothie tomorrow. I could put it in the refrigerator and maybe eat it later. There's a number of things I can do, but instead of continuing to nibble, and if it sits here long enough, I'll continue to nibble on it. And this is something that I work on. Is like, okay, if I'm done, I'm gonna set it aside, mukbang, overside, and that's probably doesn't happen. I don't know I guess it does happen, because was that Nikocado? You would think he would finish every bite, but I don't think he does. I think sometimes they eat as much as they can. There's still stuff left over, and they're just, thank you for tuning in to Mukbang. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna just put it to the side, and I will probably put that in the refrigerator. Now I'll eat that later. So, Mucus-free Mukbang. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the share button, share this video with friends and the family and the followers, and for all of you influencers out there. So many of you have nice followings. We always appreciate it when you share our stuff over here to help get this message out, because it needs to get out there. More people need to know about the Mucusless diet. More people need to get educated about this mindset, understand what we're talking about, not just people try to come up with their own definition of what they think the Mucusless diet should be based on the name. Don't do that. Study, learn, read the books. We got a Mucusless Diet Healing System e-course. If you want to just skip over everything and really, really methodically go through this information, enroll in the e-course. But whatever you do, get educated and understand how all this works. This is about transformation of the human body, mind, and spirit. And with that, I say thank you for tuning in. And I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to click this video right here. And it's a great video, and you're going to get a lot out of this video. So I want to see you over there. So click that right now. Now we'll see you over there.